Hey everybody, I'm here with Alyssa from Rising Light Relief, and she's going to tell you a little bit about her story.
Hey everyone. So my name's Alyssa. I live in Bakersville, North Carolina, small community in northern Mitchell County. We have a lot of small haulers around here, and during Helene, I was one of the lucky ones. I have some property damage, but not too bad. When we evacuated, I evacuated on the Saturday after the storm, and it took us 8 attempts to find a route where the road was still intact. So we got a grand tour of the devastation, and by the time I got to my mother's house, I had PTSD really bad. I had stutter and tics like Tourette's, and I was having 4 panic attacks a day. A lot of survivor's guilt, and so I started trying to help people. I went online, and all these community members trying to find their families. I would say I drove past that house, it's still standing, or they had some minor tree damage, and just try to reassure people because nobody could reach their loved ones. There was one post that said, it's like they all just disappeared. And so I did that from 8 a.m. to 4 a.m. for about a week. And then I started connecting people. I know the community of Tokane is cut off. I know the community of Bandana is cut off, and trying to get supplies airdropped to them. When 9 days after the storm, my brother came back, and he was the first one to hike supplies into Tokane with an AT through hiker backpack. The next day, we sent up a 100-gallon tank of gas, and we refilled every generator up the hauler. And about a week later, I came home, and I had a donation of 85 pounds of chopped chicken. And so a friend of mine made a big pot of chicken stew, and we were driving down the Tow River Road and saw one of my neighbors, Dave, and Dave's
Is that the motorcycle guy?
Yes.
Okay, I've talked to him.
Yep. So Dave's home and shop are both completely leveled, and he's living in a trailer in the rubble pile of what was his home and his income. He's got $30,000 motorcycles bent in half, and then he's got these little ceramic figurines that don't have a chip on them. They watched their neighbor's house float down the river, and when we stopped, we said, "Hey man, do you need a hot meal?" And he went back in the trailer, and he came out with a dirty dog bowl, because it was all he had to take stew from us. And so we cleaned it out, we gave him stew, and we came back the next day with a generator and clothes and muck boots and buddy heaters and all the things, and I've fed him every 2 days since. We've torn out the basement of the church in Tokane to rebuild it for them so they have a community center again, and I continue to feed them. And from a single pot of stew in the back of my Subaru, we're now up to feeding 450 people. We feed elderly, disabled, people who lost their vehicles or lost their homes to the storms, basically anybody who can't get out to the main towns to go to the relief centers or the hot meal options. And almost everybody will take a hot meal. You ask them what else they need, and they say nothing. Somebody else needs it more every time. Second or third time we give them a meal, that's when, well, I could use that. And we bring the supplies back on the next run. And it's become absolutely huge. It has become Rising Light Relief, and really was just started out of being a neighbor who made it through the storm okay, and knowing a lot of my elders and my neighbors didn't, and trying to help. That's the short version of what we do.
That's good. Awesome. Well, thank you, everybody.